chimad'ti b'chemla raba raba emunatecha Lord hani chimad'ti b'chemla raba raba emunatecha Lord hani chimad'ti b'chemla raba raba emunatecha. Let's do that once more. All of our gratefulness and this. Lord, hani chimad'ti b'chemla raba raba emunatecha. Hello, KZOOmers.
Yeah.
So good to see you. And we are in the Parsha of Yoshayv, the Shir Hashirim Parsha of Yoshayv. So as we step onto this path of love again and again, and make a commitment to live our lives by the Song of Songs, to live our lives inspired by the Song of Songs and with love at the center. So the Parsha this week says, "And my beloved among the young men is like an apple tree among the trees of the wood. In that shade I delight to sit, tasting his sweet fruit." So this, I call this practice, this being in the shade, is really about being. And I say, in my frustration, I struggle to try to reach it. But when I stop and sit and sigh and finally come to stillness, and that's what all of our practice is guiding us towards, suddenly I am resting in your shade. The taste of your sweet fruit fulfills me. Looking out from the center of this garden, even my thorny life makes perfect sense. So this is a practice of reconnecting with and remembering the essential beneficence of reality. Sometimes when it feels like the whole world is my enemy and I am struggling with my predicament, I can stop and rest in the blessing of pure being. With this practice, I receive the gift of feeling held by reality itself. Imagine leaning back against the trunk of a sturdy tree on a hot summer day. This is the tree of life, offering protection, inspiration, and unending generosity. So we're going to do this chant, and what I say is at the end of the chant to tune into the breath as you receive the sweet fruit of being. Let each breath nourish, delight, and renew. And the question I ask this week is, can I rest in a sense of nourishing pleasure and safety, delighting in being itself? So this idea of delighting in being itself, Meister Eckhart, who's really one of my teachers back in the 13th century, he says, our whole life ought to be being. So far as our life is being, so far it is in God.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, to him, the key to God consciousness was being able to rest in being itself. So I've been reading this book by Rupert Spira. Spira? That's called The Shining of Being. And I wanted to just refer to it as to inspire us in our practice of being. He says, no experience, however refined or spiritual, can ever truly satisfy our thirst for peace and happiness. It is only the knowledge of our essential self that has this thirst-quenching power. No object, activity, circumstance, or relationship can give us what we truly long for, which is only our being. No teacher or teaching can give us the peace and happiness that are the nature of ourself. Nor need they, because we are already that. So everything, it's our being is the changeless background of our continual changing experience. So when we lean back into the background, into what holds us, then that's when we relax. And when we relax, we open. And when we open, we receive this blessing that God is giving us in each moment. So I want to invite us into this place of leaning into the tree of life, of receiving the sweet fruit of being itself, which is what holds us, which is the background on which the whole play of our experience is happening. But the more that we can become aware of and identify with that background of being itself, the more that our experiences are then transformed by that sense of being, because we're not trying to get from those experiences what we can only get from this essential self of this place of being. So let's enter into this place of deep rest and nourishment and pleasure. B'tzilo chimad'ti v'yashavti b'tzilo chimad'ti v'yashavti b'tzilo chimad'ti v'yashavti b'tzilo chimad'ti v'yashavti ufiryo matok lachiki ufiryo matok lachiki ufiryo matok lachiki ufiryo matok lachiki chimad'ti v'yashavti b'tzilo chimad'ti v'yashavti b'tzilo chimad'ti v'yashavti b'tzilo chimad'ti v'yashavti ufiryo matok lachiki ufiryo matok lachiki ufiryo matok lachiki ufiryo matok lachiki b'tzilo chimad'ti v'yashavti b'tzilo chimad'ti v'yashavti b'tzilo chimad'ti v'yashavti b'tzilo chimad'ti v'yashavti ufiryo matok lachiki ufiryo matok lachiki ufiryo matok lachiki ufiryo matok lachiki. Let's do that once more.
B'tzilo בצילו חימרתי וישבתי בצילו חימרתי וישבתי בצילו חימרתי וישבתי.
And his fruit was sweet to my taste. And his fruit was sweet to my taste.
And his fruit was sweet to my taste. And his fruit was sweet to my
taste. And if you keep your eyes closed, feel yourself leaning against that tree of life, relaxing into the embrace, the sturdiness, the holding, and bring your attention to the breath, breathing into the heart. And with the breath, take in the fruit, the sweet fruit of being itself. Which is our inheritance. So Rupert Spiro says to expect someone or something other than ourselves to provide us with the peace and happiness for which we long is to set ourselves up for disappointment and failure. Nothing and no one can make us happy. Peace and happiness are the nature of our being, and we are that. We are that. So this practice of resting into who we are at the core, underneath all of the passing experiences, and that meditation for me is going into the place of deep rest, but not falling asleep, actually becoming more alive and vital, because I'm being filled up with that nourishment. So I want to do a practice I call In the Mother's Embrace, which is really about getting filled up with that nourishment and being able to rest into it. And the English part says, I am a child resting in the mother's embrace. The Hebrew part says, is my soul not calmed and soothed? So this is what calms and soothes us, that resting in. And the English part, I'm resting in the mother's embrace, actually comes after the Hebrew in the Psalm. The Psalm is sometimes translated as like a child that is weaned from his mother, like a weaned child, my soul is with me. Reb Zalman Schachter Shalomi translates this verse as like a well-nourished baby. So, well-nourished baby, meaning I'm not grasping for anything. I have everything that I need already. And it's a kind of a place of deep relaxation that comes from knowing that we are held and knowing that we are nourished from the inside. that mother's breast is inside us, giving us the peace and the happiness that when we turned to her. So this is the practice of resting in that mother's embrace. And when I was in India a couple of weeks ago, there was this great kind of like looking to the divine feminine for this inner nurture, really. And there are actually in the Himalayas, there's this particular mountain, part of the mountain range of the Himalayas that are seen as the breasts. And in our tradition, we also have that name for God of Shadai, that it comes from the word for the breasted one. And so that is how our nourishment is actually coming to us all the time. But we have to receive it. We have to stop grasping out there for something that we already have within us. So that comes out of the sense of being. And I said to Rachmel this afternoon, I'm doing my research, I'm going to go be today. I'm going to go be. Which is not to get distracted by all of the other layers of experience on top of my being, but to be able to feel that kind of deep rest inside me, which is the peace and happiness that nobody else can give me. So let's try it. I think enter into this sense of the mother's embrace, like a weaned child, like a well-nursed baby. I am a child resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child resting in the mother's embrace. Shiviti, vedomanti, nafshi. Shiviti, vedomanti, nafshi. I am a child resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child resting in the mother's embrace. Shiviti, vedomanti, nafshi. Shiviti, vedomanti, nafshi. I am a child resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child resting in the mother's embrace. Shiviti, vedomanti, nafshi. Shiviti, vedomanti, nafshi. I am a child resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child resting in the mother's embrace. Shiviti, vedomanti, nafshi. Shiviti, vedomanti, nafshi. I am a child resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child resting in the mother's embrace. Shiviti, vedomanti, nafshi.
shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. I am a child, resting in the mother's embrace. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi. Imlo shiviti, vidomamti nafshi.
Again, close your eyes. Imagine breathing into the heart, breathing in the nourishment, the sense of safety, of protection, of being held just right. And allow the exhale to be a relaxing, a letting go. So taking in that nourishment on the inhale, being relaxed and in such relief on the out-breath, and knowing that this peace and happiness has been inside us all along.
I did the screen up so you can, I don't know if you can see it, there's a fabric art of the goddess pregnant with a fire in her belly. Perfect for this chant.
So the art of meditation or prayer. So this is why we come to this place of deep rest. In our tradition, one of those ways of talking about that gesture of coming into that embrace is called taking refuge. And the idea is also in Buddhism, but in the Psalms, it happens a lot. It says, and this is a return. And Rupert Spiro says, if the art of meditation or prayer is to return to our essential being, then the art of life is to remain as being in the midst of all experience. In doing so, we remain in touch with the peace and quiet joy that are our true nature. At the same time, we feel our being as the same being that appears as everyone and everything. In other words, we love everyone and everything as appearances of the one infinite being, God's being, the divine. So as we rest in this place of being ourselves, that's the intersection of the great being, of all being, of the infinite being. So as we rest in this peace and joy and being inside us, it's a kind of a portal to the being which is the infinite being, which allows us to love everything and everyone, which would be so nice. And so, because really there's only one being, the infinite being, really. So, but this, I want to do this practice of taking refuge in you. And St. Augustine says that, my heart is restless till it rests in you. Like this is, what we're working with is the restless heart. The restless heart is one that gets pulled by our experiences and, all the various little dramas that we're going through in our life. But we get pulled out of center by them. And so the idea, and so the heart is restless because it's always trying to get something, and it's, I think of the Ahava Rabbah prayer in our liturgy as being so central to me because it allows me an entranceway to experience unity consciousness. Because when I feel the great love coming to me, there's something in me relaxes. And when I relax, I open and receive. And what I'm receiving is unity consciousness. So taking refuge. So this phrase from Psalm 57, it gives us, here's the reward. When I take refuge in you, this is what happens. You pour out your grace to me, oh God. When I can trust that gesture inside of taking refuge, of resting in pure being. This is what happens. There is this flow from the divine, which is the Chanayni Elohim, this great flow of grace that pours in. So are we ready to take refuge and to open to this flow of grace? Yeah.
Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, O ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, O ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, O ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, O ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, O ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, O ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, O ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, O ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, O ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, O ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, ki v'cha chasayah nafshi, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni. Oh, kivacha, chasayah nafshi. Kivacha, chasayah nafshi. Oh, kivacha, chasayah nafshi. Kivacha, chasayah nafshi. Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni. Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni. Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni. Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni. Oh, kivacha, chasayah nafshi. Kivacha, chasayah nafshi. Oh, kivacha, chasayah nafshi. Kivacha, chasayah nafshi. Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni. Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni. Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni. Chanayni Elohim, Chanayni. Oh, kivacha, chasayah nafshi. Kivacha, chasayah nafshi. Oh, kivacha, chasayah nafshi. Kivacha, chasayah nafshi.
And keep your eyes closed. Bring your attention to the breath. Breathe into the heart. Breathing in that chin, that grace that is always pouring into this world. And we are making ourselves available to that grace that is pouring into this world by clearing a space of pure being. So that we can be filled with that sense of grace. And it can become the fuel for all of our doing. And the idea is that all of the being and that foundation of being becomes I guess that's where we come from with our doing, where it's coming from our being. You know, and I know this is also the secret of Shabbat. When we can really open to Shabbat, Shabbat is all about the place of being, so that when we enter into the doing of the week, our doing is sourced in that being place. And it's also the meaning of devekut, which is really my core practice, is devekut, which is connecting myself to the infinite. And the only way I can do that is through subtraction, clearing away all of my own experience, so that I can get to the bottom of it and feel like
it really does come down to getting out of my own way. It just really does.
So Rupert Spira says,
being.
The last teaching that I want to bring is the experience of simply being is the changeless background of our continually changing experience. And this is a beautiful image he brings. It is the invisible thread on which the pearls of experience are strung. It is the invisible thread on which the pearls of experience are strung. I like that because I like jewelry.
Your pearl necklace.
I love
your pearl necklace.
But there is this invisible thread that's the being that's underneath it all. So the last practice that I want to share with you is really to ask that, the answer to the question, how do passing mental states become lasting neural traits? That's the question I sit with. And the idea is that when in our practice there are these beautiful passing mental states of spaciousness, of love, of connection.
Right now. I feel expanded and open to love after chanting with you all. It's like, oh, I'm there.
And so how does it not just be an experience that is passing, but actually that kind of becomes the lasting neural trait of who we are, so that when we are in the throes of the experience of life, we're still connected. We still have our dvikut, and that's really that invisible thread that's connecting us to being itself, to the infinite. And so this, I love this practice because it really addresses this question. So it says Yoshayv b'seiter Elyon. So when your practice is to sit in this mystery of connection, of love, of essential self, of being itself, Yoshayv b'seiter Elyon, we're in this high place. Then, but Shadai yitlonan. Then you will abide. That's where you're going to live, and in the shade of Shadai, in the place of ultimate nourishment, of connection to the One. Yeah. So and so it's that repeated, bringing awareness and focus and what's the acronym again?
What is that acronym? ECAR? No.
We're bringing awareness. Where's David Blumenstein was the one who taught it to me. So we're bringing
Infar.
Infar, right. Infar, good.
Ta-da,
good.
I got out of my own way and it appeared.
Intense. So to my practice, this is what changes our brain, really, is when we have these 5 different qualities that we bring to our practice, which is intensity, novelty, focus, awareness, and repetition. And so Yoshayv b'seiter Elyon, but I'm going to Yoshayv there just every day. I'm going to visit this place. I'm going to keep visiting this place until this place becomes my home. Really. So this is our final practice of this KZOOM. Is our whole life ought to be being, Meister Eckhart says. When our life is being, when that's underneath it all, that's how we find ourselves in God, in the divine flow. So we'll make a commitment to our practice with this, knowing that the rewards of practice are this access to the place of peace and happiness, no matter what, this place of unconditional nourishment, really. Yoshayv b'seiter Elyon, b'tel Shadai yitlonan. Yoshayv b'seiter Elyon, b'tel Shadai yitlonan. Yoshayv b'seiter Elyon, B'Tzel Shadai yitlonan Yoshayv soothed Elyon 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 B'Tzel Shadai Yoshayv soothed Elyon B'Tzel Shadai yitlonan 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 Once more.
Yoshayv soothed Elyon B'Tzel Shadai yitlonan Yoshayv soothed Elyon B'Tzel Shadai yitlonan Yoshayv soothed Elyon B'Tzel Shadai yitlonan
the soothed Elyon, the tzed, Shadai, yitlonan.
So keep your eyes closed. Breathe into the heart. That sense of abiding peace and joy. Breathing it into the heart, or finding it there in the heart. Knowing that's what's underneath it, that's our true nature. That's the dance floor on which this dance of our life is happening. So breathing in that truth, that remembrance. Invite you to open your eyes and take a look around the KZOOM room, and if you're not showing your face, you can show your face so that we could thank each other for our practice.
Sweet. Love those faces.
Love those faces.
Back at you.
So really to give each other the support to do this practice of shining our being, which is going to be the dveikut underneath it all, the thing that will make all the difference in our experience. And Yonatan, you're still in your car, and
all the way in Australia. With the steering
on
wheel
the
on the wrong side?
On the wrong side.
I know. Okay, what are you going to do?
And anyway, it's such a pleasure to be with you, to be together. And
my sweet name for Shefa is Honeybee. But it's not only the honeybee, but it's a reminder. Honey, bee. That just came to me.
So I invite you to.
Love you if you have to leave.
If you go to the website and see what's happening, there's a retreat happening in January, and actually the registration is open for the retreat next summer too.
In north of Minneapolis.
Jen, if you want to sign up for that and let people know that is happening.
It's the end of July this year.
Yeah, at the end of July. And so I'm going to stop the recording